Welcome to day 2 of quadratic formulas. So again, we're gonna practice some problems of quadratic formulas. Let's get started. Only a couple days till Valentine's Day, so we got cute little hearts for your quadratic practice formulas. So remember, the quadratic formula is negative b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a, or negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Either way. Anyway. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to label what is a. So we got a here, which is our 2. Our b for boy is 2 as well. That's pretty cool. And our c is negative 12. Ooh, we got a negative number now. All right, let's use the equation. I got negative b, which is 2. Remember, this plus or minus stays as well as the negative. B squared, so I have 2 squared, minus 4a, which is 2, c, which is negative 12, all over 2 times a. Remember, these are all, 2 times 2. Remember, the negative 4, the a, and the c are all multiplied together. So I'm going to take this again one step at a time. A negative and a positive make a negative, so I have a negative 2 out in front. Plus or minus 2 times 2 is going to give me a 4. I'm going to combine this negative 4 and this 2 together first, and then do the 12. So I know negative 4 times a 2 gives me a negative 8, and I still am dealing with a negative 12. Underneath is a beautiful equation. 2 times 2 is 4. Now I can combine this negative 8 and this 12. If you did not know what 12 times 8 is, it's 96. So I'm going to rewrite it again. Negative times a negative is a positive, so it's going to be a positive 96. If I had 96 and 4, oh my goodness, I get 100. Whoa, it's like maybe we really like the number 100, I guess. We had 100, square root of 100 yesterday. All right, you know what to do. The square root of 100, I'm going to draw it down here, is going to be 10. Yay, 10. 10 times 10 is 100. Woo! Since I have beautiful, nice numbers, I'm actually going to break this up because I could have a negative 10 or a positive 10. So I'm going to have a positive 10 on top over 4. And then a negative 10, because remember, 2 negatives make a positive. That's why it could be negative or positive. So on top, negative 2 plus 10 is going to give me an 8, a positive 1, over 4. That actually can be reduced to a positive 2. Negative 2 and a negative 10 give me negative 12 over 4. Negative divided by positive is a negative. 12 divided by 4 is 3. Woo! All right. So those are our 2 possible answers, and that's where it's going to hit the x-axis. So let's do another one here for Valentine's Day week. All right. So I have my a, which is 1. Now, you can always write these off to the side, what your a, b, and c are. I'm just writing it underneath. You don't have to. All right. Then I have my equation, and negative b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over a 2a. So now I'm going to plug in my b. So here's what's interesting. My b is negative 5. So make sure you put these in parentheses because it's negative b plus or minus. Not just, just b. It's negative b. So negative b plus or minus b squared minus 4 times a, which is my 1, times my c, which is negative 14, all right, over 2a, which is 1. All right, two negatives here make a positive, so I'm actually going to have a positive 5 out in front. Interesting. Negative 5 times negative 5, or negative 5 squared, is going to give me a positive 25. Negative 4 times 1 is going to give me a negative 4. And I'm going to take 14 and multiply it by 4 to get 56. They're both negative, so I'm going to add them together. And 2 times 1 is, well, 2. All right, so if I add 56 and 25, 5, 6, 7, 8, I'm going to get an 81. I wonder if 81 is a perfect squared. What times itself could give me 81? Oh, let's see. 8 and 8 is 64. 9 times 9. Oh, hey, that's 81. So I actually have 5 plus or minus a 9 over 2. Now that I have beautiful whole numbers, I'm going to break them up because I could have a negative 9 or a positive 9. So I'm going to have 5 plus 9 over 2. And now I'm going to have a 5 minus 9 over 2. Well, 5 plus 9 does in fact give me a 14. Can 14 go into 2? Absolutely. I would get a 7. And $5, I go to Taco Bell and spend $9. I owe Taco Bell $4. Negative divided by positive is a negative. 4 divided by 2 is 2. So the two places it's going to hit are 7 and a negative 2. Crazy. That's where it's going to hit my x-axis. OMG. Super cool. All right. I'm getting pumped. These are so cool. Working out kind of nicely. And, you know, probably knock on wood. Alrighty. So I have my A, which is 1 here. I have my B, which is a 4. And then I have my C, which is a 3. That's pretty nice. Negative B plus or minus square root of B squared minus 4AC all over 2A. Let me fix that. Alright, so now I'm going to plug everything in. Negative B, which is 4, plus or minus the square root, again, of B squared, minus that 4 times my A times my C, all over that beautiful 2A. It's going to get stuck in your head forever. This is going to be one of the equations that you're going to remember forever. I even remembered it forever. All right, so negative times a positive is a negative, so I have a negative 4 plus or minus 4 squared, which is 16. And I have a negative 4 times 1, which is negative 4, times 3 is going to give me a negative 12. Oh, okay. And then 2 times 1 is 2. Now I just need to figure out what 16 minus 12 is. 6, 5, 4. Yay! So cool. So 4, is it a perfect square? Well, the square root of 4 is actually 2. So I have negative 4 plus or minus a 2 divided by 2. So what I have here is negative 4 plus 2 divided by 2. And I have a negative 4 minus 2 over 2 because this square root of 4 could be plus or minus. So negative 4 plus 2 gives me a negative 2 divided by 2, which gives me a negative 1. So negative 1 is my first option. And a negative 4 and a negative 2 give me a negative 6 over 2. And this actually gives me a negative 3. So it hits at negative 1 and a negative 3. Yay! So cool! See, the equation works every time, even if I FOILed it out or distributed. If I made it into factored form, you would see that it would be a 1 and a 3, and you'd still, or sorry, a negative 1 and a negative 3. See, it works for everything. Ooh. All right, last one here. My A is going to be 1. And just because there's a letter B here, we're just using the number. We're not looking at the variable. B equals negative 4. C equals a positive 4. So negative B plus or minus square root of B squared minus 4AC all over my 2A. All right, so I have a negative B. Remember, negative, parenthesis, the B, negative 4. Plus or minus the square root of the B squared minus 4 times A times C. Oops, forgot to put the number there. All over 2 times 1. I want you to actually pause this video and I want you to try it out yourself and see if you're fully understanding it. Alright, you should have tried it out by yourself. 2 negatives make a positive, so I'm going to have a positive 4 out in front. Plus or minus the square root. Negative 4 times a negative 4 gives me a positive 16. And this negative 4 times 1 gives me a negative 4. Times a positive 4 gives me also 16. Okay, and 2 times 1 is 2. So, what I'm going to do is I have 4 plus or minus the square root of 16 minus 16, which is 0. So let's see if that exists. So if I take the square root of 0, I'm going to get 0. So essentially I have 4 plus or minus 0 over 2. Alright, so I essentially have 4 over 2. So my final answer is 2. So this means that it will hit the x-axis only once. There's only one answer, because look, even if I distributed this, 4 plus 0 over 2 is still 2. 4 minus 0 over 2, it's still 4 over 2, therefore it's still 2. They're the same number. So this one will only have one, it'll only hit the x-axis once, which is totally fine. So now what you're ready for is to take the diagnostic of the quadratic equations, PFA.